Hi and welcome to the No War Zone. Human rights and issues relating to it dominated the events calendar among NGOs and government organizations in the first 2 weeks of December 2008 as the world and Sri Lanka commemorated the signing of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights 60 years ago on the 10th of December. In Sri Lanka's case, the official view is that things are not so bad when it comes to the realization and violations of human rights in the country. But there are human rights watchdogs who say otherwise, that Sri Lanka's human rights case is probably the worst in the last 60 years. Taking the opportunity to highlight what is seen as a grim human rights situation, a number of various activists and supporters came out onto the streets of Colombo.
They want to convey how serious the situation is, so their protest march takes on the tone of a funeral procession, which begins at the Baralla Cemetery in Colombo. Dressed in mourning attire and chanting dirges, they start the funeral procession to make their point. As women's rights activists, they have decided to take action today as it is International Human Rights Day 2008.
කාන්තාවන් විතරනේ ජාතින් හැමෝටම මිනිස්සු වශයෙන් ඉතින් අපි හැම ජාතියක්ම එකයි වගේ කියලා සලකනවා. ඉතින් ඒ අයට එක එක අසාධාරණකම් වෙනකොට ඉතින් හිතට ටිකක් මේක ඒ හින්දා අපි මේ යනවා. ඉතින් බහැලා යනවා අපිත් පාරේ බය නැතුව.
மனிதாபிமானத்துடன் எங்களுடைய உரிமைகளை எங்களுக்கு தந்து நல்ல ஒரு அரசை நடத்தி இந்த பிரச்சனைகளுக்கு தீர்வு காண வேண்டும் என்பதே எங்களுடைய வேண்டுகோள்.
These women were motivated to take part in this demonstration to show their protest against what they say is a breakdown in law and order in the country. They raised their voices in protest in a year that has seen the violation of the rights of lawyers, media people, professionals and academics, and call for an end to the violence.
This is an example of where you can actually be part of a process, where you use your democratic rights to oppose all the violence that happens, not just for women but across a whole demographic.
From arbitrary arrests and disappearances to torture and threats to freedom of expression, a statement by the Asian Human Rights Commission for the 60th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights spells out the situation in Sri Lanka in grim terms. Today's protest action not only raises awareness of this, but is an appeal for positive action by the government.
We want to voice the opinion. We want to be in solidarity with all those people who are suffering, who have gone through all the atrocities, and their murder, and so many women have been murdered. The media has been attacked. And nothing is being done.
අද වෙනකොට ලංකාවේ මානව හිමිකම් සම්බන්ධයෙන් කටයුතු කරන්න බැරි තත්ත්වයක් උදා වෙමින් තිබෙනවා. මොකද නීතිඥවරයාගේ සිට පහළ ගම් මට්ටමේ ක්‍රියාධාරය දක්වාත් රාජ්‍යරෝහණ සංවිධානවල නායකත්ව ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ ඉන්න සියලු දෙනාම විශාල තර්ජනයන්ට මුහුණ දෙනවා. ඊට අමතරව පැහැර ගැනීම අතුරුදහන් වීම එමටයි. ඒ කියන්නේ එන්න වර්ධනය වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම නිර්මුක්තිය නිසා ලංකාවේ අධිකරණ ක්ෂේත්‍රය තුල ඒ වගේම මේ පිළිබඳ පොලිසියේ ක්‍රියාකාරීත්වය පිළිබඳ අපේ බලවත් කනගාටුව තමයි ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න තියෙන්නේ.
The procession reaches Lipton Circus and is joined by other organizations. These are all committed activities because in the end, not everyone is willing to take to the streets in protest against such a controversial subject as human rights violations.
இவ்வளோ சொன்னால் கவர்மெண்ட் கேட்குறாங்கல்ல, அது நாங்கள் வீச போய்ட்டு நம்ம வேலை தூக்குறாங்க, நேராக போனால் அது வேலை தூக்குறாங்க. என்ன தான் செய்கிறேன், இதை நாங்கள் போராடி பார்க்குறோம். அப்போ எங்கள் வெற்றி கிடைத்தாண்டு.
I think it's very important that human rights defenders work together, that there is solidarity between all of us, that our work is public, that our work is backed by fact, that we stand together when we talk of violations. And I think today was a good example of all the groups coming together.
It's being hidden, it's been under the carpet, but that's not going to stop people from talking. Just look at these people here. There are people here whose families are missing, whose people, can't be found. How many are there where nobody knows anything about it? So if we don't do this, Sri Lankans need to awaken.
While civil society has a role in combating human rights violations, and while they could engage more actively in strengthening the human rights lobby, it is also crucial that the state fully plays its role in ensuring that the rule of law is supreme and is upheld at all times.